All right, I'm here in Cisco, Texas with Leighton York. Leighton, I met you a few months ago. I came up here and did a presentation on Infiniti Matrix stem cells. I think a week or so after that, you ended up getting stem cells. Do you remember the date? What date you got them?
I believe it was March 19th that I actually received the procedure.
Okay.
They've been a blessing.
Well, tell us what was going on initially. And like I said, we've got this music in our environment here that's challenging our voices. But what was going on with your body prior to receiving this? What were you struggling with?
I've been dealing with 5 broken discs in my low back, severe sciatica down the left side to where you would think your left leg was either plugged into an electric fence or your ankle was broke.
Whoa.
And I'd been dealing with that for almost 15 years. It had gotten to the point that it was, 100 proof alcohol just to get a few hours sleep.
Oh my, wow.
On a good day, I'd be walking and my legs would just be chopped out from underneath me because things would just lock up and disappear.
Wow.
And I have to admit, I was skeptical about some of the efficiency of the stem cell injections. But I studied the science, looked at it. I know that, stem cells are God's building blocks. It made sense. I have family members that have received it. They've had positive results. And after talking to them, went ahead and signed up for the procedure. Between the drives to receive the procedure and then meeting my ex-wife so that my son could spend the weekend, that same weekend, I put in almost 500 miles. Normally that would have me flat on my back for about a week.
Oh my. Yeah, you drove to San Angelo, I think,
Yes,
to
from
receive.
Cisco
Okay.
to San Angelo, and then from San Angelo back to Cisco, and then that afternoon drove from Cisco to South Texas.
Oh my, whoa.
A lot of driving.
Yes, sir.
And like I say, normally I'd been flat on my back. I had minor, on a 1 to 10 scale, I had a 4 for pain that day.
Wow. So what was your pain level before receiving?
Anywhere from a 6 to 9.
Wow.
I mean,
So pretty severe all the time.
yeah, it was a constant. Even on a good day, it hurt. But it's something that you learn to deal with.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes.
And then on bad days, if you wanted to walk, you had a cane and you were dragging your foot behind you. Prior to receiving the stem cell injections, I was getting steroid injections directly into my spine. I was getting nerve burns with using radio frequencies, which gave me temporary relief, but then it would come right back and be worse.
Wow.
The first week after the procedure, I had some agitation, but it was still a very minimal pain, and it's just been improving from there. I have some bad days where I'll get maybe a 3 or a 4 on the pain scale, but that's after 12 to 18 hours of activity, or I've done something exceptionally stupid.
Yeah, because we're still human. Yeah, we'll still wrench our back or do something, yeah.
The injuries are still there, but they've been healed up to the point to where I'm not in that everyday pain.
That's fabulous. How quickly, I think when we were talking before on the phone, I think you said it was about a week later that it radically changed.
Yes.
And came down that pain scale down to like a 1 or a 2. Did I remember that right?
A week to 10 days, yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's fast.
The
wow.
inflammation was rather aggravating, especially since y'all had suggested, cease and desist taking the anti-inflammatories, which I'd been taking for years. So I had to get accustomed to that. But after about 6 weeks or so, the constant inflammation had slowed down a lot, and the positive effects were still going through the roof. So it's been a very tremendous thing.
Just out of curiosity, have you seen anything? I know your focus was on the pain, like mine was. Mine was totally pain.
Right.
But then I've discovered all these other things that took care of. Have you, by chance, discovered anything outside of the pain realm that it's addressing?
Well, my activity level has gone back up, so I've lost some weight. I've been able to tone up some.
Good.
I was able to actually get back into the gymnasium and do things for
fabulous.
I think I was able to get into the gym once in January of this year, and then last Saturday I was in the gym for, I don't know, two and a half hours.
Oh my, wow.
And I had, very, very moderate discomfort the next day, mainly because the muscles were going, hey, wait, you wanted me to do what again? But other than that, normally what would have crippled me up for extenuated or extreme amounts of time has been eradicated.
Yeah.
So
So in lots of ways, would you say it's given you back your quality of life?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten brave enough to load my canoe or kayak in the truck and take it, but I've been able to walk around the river or around the tank and fish. I couldn't do that before. The only way I could fish was just step out of the truck, sit down, and fish right there. Whereas normally I'm moving, I'm walking.
You walked in here beautifully. You kept pace right with me coming in.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to do that. I mean, used to, I would walk like a sailor, like a drunken sailor, very
Waddle. We waddle when we're in pain. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. But I haven't. I don't notice that anymore.
How long did you suffer with this prior to hearing about stem cells?
The first time that I ever heard of stem cell or anything even similar to it was, they call it a Jesus shot, and I guess that was probably 6-7 years ago.
Wow. I haven't heard that one.
It was a bunch of vitamins. Supposedly it was supposed to, just a bunch of vitamins and steroids are supposed to help. Well, the cost was prohibitive. The science was unproven, and I didn't know anybody personally that had gotten that. So I kind of debunked it and went on, went on suffering.
So you've so 6 or 7 years at least. When did whatever your issue was? When did it originally begin?
2007.
So you've had 15 years of this.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh, that is a horrific amount of time to deal with pain at the level that you were dealing with, especially if they're doing spinal injections, because that's huge.
Quality of life was interesting.
You had to readjust what that meant to you just to continue going day to day.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But about a year and a half, 2 years ago, several family members had received these stem cell injections at different points, at various intervals. And I was seeing firsthand and hearing from them, hey, this works, this changed my life in this aspect or this aspect. And so it made a lot of sense. And then Mom had gotten the injection, and she had asked me to come to this presentation that you gave.
Uh-huh.
And it was very thought-provoking. And then considering the first-hand experience with the family members, with Mom, I decided,
So you'd highly recommend it?
yes. But if I hadn't seen firsthand with family members, I would be a little bit skeptical. I still would have taken that leap of faith, based off Mom's results and her her experience. But having dealt with it now, definitely recommend it.
Oh yeah, it makes you a believer when that pain that medical science could not alleviate, and it's just gone, and you realize. Did you experience where you realized because we acclimate, we adjust our quality of living and where we think we are, but when we realize we're no longer in pain, looking back to see really how far away from where normal was. So it's an incredible moment.
Well, matter of fact, a buddy of mine's got nerve damage and bone, what's the term, where this bone is breaking down.
Okay, degenerating.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway, he's seen me. I mean, I've known him since I was 16. He's seen my quality of life improve, and he was asking me, and I was telling him what I'd done, and where, and I was telling him all about it, and he's like, I need the information.
Good.
And then an Army buddy, he was asking the same questions, and I told him about that, and I said, the cost is high, but what's the cost of living well?
Yeah, exactly.
It was, it's been a tremendous change.
I know for myself the expense that I was spending, that within probably less than 10 months, what I paid out of pocket I had saved, because I was no longer having to do all of that copay out of the pocket and all that extra stuff.
Right.
And you feel wonderful.
Right.
So so then it becomes the best investment you could possibly make.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Any last things you'd like to share?
Big Pharma says that this is experimental medicine, but they only call it experimental medicine because they can't do God's handiwork and maintain repeat clients. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
That's awesome. That is so well said. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Leighton, for taking your time on this Saturday morning to share your testimony. I know it's going to inspire other people to take that leap of faith, as you said. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.